preclinical drug evaluation, pharmacoepidemiology, and drug repurposing. He has published more than 19 research papers in reputed journals focusing on key areas like cardioprotective activity and Alzheimer's disease. He also holds a patent for his work on the cardioprotective activity of Butia In recognition of his excellence, he has been awarded the Best Faculty Award by Dr. Reddy's Laboratories and is also recognized as a CCSEA nominee. He has co-authored 2 books, including Concepts of Clinical Research and Pharmacovigilance and Pharmacology. As a leader, he serves as a secretary of Indian Pharmaceutical Association, Narsapur, and as the faculty coordinator of IPS Students Forum. His contributions to the pharmaceutical community extend beyond academia through consultancy projects and specialized training in cutting-edge fields such as AI-driven drug discovery and preclinical research. So, I would like to I request Dr. Shekar Garu to deliver his speech.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Firstly, thank you, madam, for the kind words of introduction. Before going ahead, I want to check whether I'm going to is my voice is clear, everyone. To check. Hello. 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 Fine. Hello. All below. Hello, madam. Hello. वॉइस नहीं आ रहा क्या फाइन मेरा?
हाँ यस सर क्लियर है सर स्टार्ट प्लीज
यस thank you madam for your kind introduction. Yeah, so I'm Shekar, HOD Pharmacology at Vishnu Institute of Pharmaceutical Education Research, Narsapur, Medak. Happy to interact with you all regarding the pharmacovigilance and ADR management. So I would like to start my presentation with a quote given by Dr. Nicholas More, who used to be President of International Society of Pharmacovigilance. The quote goes as, all drugs are dangerous, some may also be useful. These are the words of President, International Society of Pharmacovigilance. So, as you know, as there is a perception that medicine is a wrong perception that medicine is purely safe, but actually we need to use those drugs, medicines with utmost respect. So, as we know, they can cause terrible syndromes and terrible effects if they are used irrationally. So, with this quote, going further, the question comes rise when we woke up. So, how we woke up? So, as we know, we woke with a terrible disaster called thalidomide disaster. So, which happened in the year 1962, which was introduced as an hypnotic and an antiemetic, and off-label it was used for the motion sickness during pregnancy. As we all know, it came up with a terrible syndrome which is called as phocomelia, which is the very first month of conception. Actually, speaking correctly, it affects the early stage of pregnancy, speaking 22 to 25th day of pregnancy. As we know, during early stage of conception, most of the pregnant women will experience a syndrome called morning sickness, which will be used, they will be feeling a lot of nausea and number of vomitings per day will also be more. So, off-labelly, this drug was used as an antiemetic to control this morning sickness, but it came up with terrible syndrome, and which around 10,000 infants throughout the globe were affected with this syndrome. So we woke up with this, and the last caption over here, the slide ends with the statement called, "We still need to keep awake." The reason is, thalidomide was a disaster and it has been withdrawn, but it has gotten repurposed, used for leprosy as well as myeloma. It has been introduced. So I came to know data from every year there will be an World Congress of Victims of Thalidomide will have a conference. World Conference of Thalidomide Victims will happen every year. So I came to know from the data that the youngest child who was infected with this Pharmacovigilance was with the 3 years of age. Actually, this has been happened around 60 years back. As I said earlier, it is 1962. It has outbroken and in 1962. But still, though, the youngest child who is affected with Pharmacovigilance because of thalidomide, again, as his age around 3 years. So we need to still keep awake. That's what I'm. Right. The next slide, as you know, if you see the heading of this slide, the principles of drug therapy not always understood and accepted. I want to throw a light on this before going. If you see, no drug is inherently safe. As you know, the drug will because the drug will produce multiple effects. We cannot expect the drug to produce only single effect. And the drug can be useful only unless it doesn't produce an effect at all. And by definition, we cannot call it as a drug. Actually, drug by definition is an active medicament which is used to cause and intended to cause some effect. If it doesn't produce any effect, we cannot, by definition, it is not a drug. And next one is each patient are unique, right? Because as we are makeup with different genetic makeup, and each treatment situation is unique because each patient can be unique, and what right drug treatment for me might not be effective for you. So what is right for me can be a bad for you. That's because what I mean to say is we are all unique because of our genetic makeup. And moreover, as you know, the recommendations based upon evidence from the population with the knowledge of deviations. What I mean to say is the dosage will be taken with an average of average weight percent of 70 kgs and height of 6 feet. So as there is an underweight and overweight, so the same drug dosage cannot be effective for all the things. Right. Going ahead, what is pharmacovigilance? I hope everyone knows this. Everyone knows about this. So WHO has given a definition for pharmacovigilance in the year 2002, which goes like this: the science and activities relating to the detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse effects or any other possible drug-related problems. So I want to stress on this point: any other possible drug-related problems. So which includes broad, not only the detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse effects. Any other things which are drug related, so which those activities which related to the other drug related problems might be comes under pharmacovigilance. Now the question comes, why pharmacovigilance? What is the need for pharmacovigilance? So as the slide displays, the first one is what? Right. To prevent and protect patients from unnecessary harm. To prevent and protect patients from unnecessary harm. And second can be mostly the humanitarian concerns, that is Hippocrates admonition. What is Hippocrates admonition? Hippocrates admonition. So it goes like, first, do no harm. Whether you do good to someone or not, first do no harm to others. That's what the humanitarian concerns of Hippocrates status, who was an ancient philosopher who used to practice medicine. His fundamental principle was, first, do no harm. Whether you do good or bad, that's a different story, but don't do any harm. That's why the pharmacovigilance. Next one is to contribute the risk-benefit balance. So this is very much important, utmost important to balance the balance risk and benefit. What are the risk involved and what are the benefits out of the treatment? So we need to outweigh the risk. Benefit should be outweigh the risk. What I mean to say that there should be more risk and there should be less risk. And next one is to contribute risk benefit balance of medicines. That is repeated. To contribute protection of patients and public health. To contribute patients and public health, and to reduce the economic burden to the society. As we know, as we came to know these areas, adverse drug reactions, if you move further, we can understand the severity that may lead to death also, that may lead to disability, that may lead to hospitalization, that may extend the stay to reside in hospital for one more day. All those things will be an economic burden for an individual. So obviously adverse effects would be so pharmacovigilance will definitely reduce the burden by prevention of occurring of adverse drug events, and promoting rational use of drug medicines and adherence. This is where we need to play a major role. Most of the thing is adherence. So we need to counsel the patients in such a way that they will stick to the complete medication. As we know, if the patient goes to the doctor and the doctor has prescribed a medication 5 days a week, twice a day, if the patient feels he's doing good after 2 days, he discontinue medication, he will not adhere for therapy. There may be again reoccurrence and of the symptoms, and the disease may go worse again. So we need to counsel our patients in such a way that they stick with the therapy. If we able to acknowledge the benefits and the risk involved in the therapy, then the patient may stay with us and with the complete therapy. So the pharmacovigilance plays a major role and helping the patient to adhere with the therapy and rational use of medicines. And last one is ensuring public confidence. So now this is most important at most is pharmacovigilance plays a major role to build up public confidence. In what ways? Nowadays, we have a complete network. Suppose if you buy some goods from the market, if those goods are not good for you, you'll go and argue with the person who has sold to you, so that this is not working. So I need the replacement, or I need another one in this place. But this is not happening with the medicine. Especially, they don't have any proper channel to say whether they are able to produce, whether the drug which is prescribed to produce the prescribed desired effect or not. Whether the patient, what is the feeling of patient when he is taking medication, whether it works for him, or whether he feels any bad. Hey, this is not work for me. This is not producing desired effects. So this proper channel is not happening actually. So the pharmacovigilance helps will bridge this gap so that a proper channel, so that we need to educate the patient, so that where we can report the adverse drug events as well as expected lack of efficacy. So all these are the points which I feel will support for the need for pharmacovigilance. Going ahead, okay, that is all pharmacovigilance. Now there is extended scope of pharmacovigilance. What could be the extended scope of pharmacovigilance? So we were able to see whether where there exists a causal relationship with the drug effects or what, all those things. Now the extended scope is we are looking into the property of ingredients and also the patients, not only the effects and how they are happening. So now whether there any particular ingredient is responsible for that effect also. Ingredient of a formulation is responsible for that effect. So in this direction, the field is growing up. And the next one is patient effects in inadequate product quality, that is failing GMP. That's what the same as what I said, lack of expected efficacy. That may be because of failing GMP, distribution or storage, not attending the distribution as well as storage conditions. Counterfeiting, it's the biggest challenge. What is counterfeiting, can I ask? Yes, using something. it's like a duplicate things. The label and everything will be the same. The duplicate thing will be confusing people with fault medication with the same. That's what is called duplicate things. All these things will lead to lack of efficacy. And second one is next one is patient effects in terms of patients inadequate use. That's what I said earlier. The patient has been prescribed with the medication for 5 days, twice a day. If he feels better, he might quit. He might whatever it may be. That may lead to medication errors. Sometimes misuse, abuse can be used of happening, and poisoning. A lot of countries actually drug poisoning is also a thing. Drug poisoning centers are available in some countries, but where the countries, if poisoning is not available, then pharmacovigilance need to take care of those things also. That is an extended scope for the pharmacovigilance. And next will be the safety challenges of mass treatment campaign. So on this, most importantly, I want to throw a light on this thing is especially the mass immunization programs and other public health programs. So this is where the pharmacovigilance centers plays a major role in prevention, because there will be a lot of rumors. There will be a lot of rumors regarding unsafety of drugs, which will be circulating in the markets. If you take an example, the deworming campaign in Ghana has gone with a lot of unsafety rumors. As you know, WHO has initiated the deworming campaign in Ghana, which is an African country. So, with the intention for the school children, there was a mass immunization program done, but there was rapid spread of rumors regarding unsafety, because which doesn't have any relation with this immunization. The story goes like this: the school girl was hit by some vehicle after school when she is going back, which doesn't have an issue with any relation with this campaign program. But the rumor went very fastly. That has been lead to death. So this is an area where the pharmacovigilance centers need to step in to look into, is there any and interpret what exactly the reason, whether the rumor is correct or not, what exactly the reason behind, and the message need to spread to the public, so that the governments invest a lot of money for all this mass immunization program. As in India also, we have national immunization program on which a lot of vaccinations will be given to the infants in government hospitals. So government will be investing a lot of money, but this is where this is an extended scope of pharmacovigilance, where as a pharmacist, we need to step in. We need to educate the patient regarding the advantage of taking vaccination and all those things. If you're able to do a job correctly, then these rumors which are regarding unsafety might be cut down for the benefit of public. So right, and a lot of we believe that pharmacovigilance, most of we believe, I used to believe earlier at the early stages that pharmacovigilance only the post-marketing surveillance. But pharmacovigilance exists both pre-market, that is preclinical stage and clinical stage. That's for preclinical, clinical, and marketed stage. So pharmacovigilance is essential in both the phases. What is an advantage of having pharmacovigilance during pre-market is to protect trial participant, which is at most important. And pharmacovigilance help to plays a major role to produce the clean and reproducible data both in preclinical and clinical phases of the drug. Pharmacovigilance is responsible for what? That the same thing, risk benefit. At the end of the stage, before the launch, we need to analyze the benefit versus a risk. Every time the benefit should be high and the risk should be the least, at least such a way for the benefit of patient. When it comes to post-marketing, also pharmacovigilance, as we know, pharmacovigilance plays a major role in continuing the risk-benefit analysis. And pharmacovigilance play a major role. See if says and needle labels of the label to be changed. And this is what I want to stress here, dear Dr. Letter. So, dear doctor letters, there are short communications by the doctors. Actually, the Thalidomide disaster came up with the dear doctor letter, where Australian physician in December 1961 he wrote an article to the Lancet regarding his experiences after treating his patients with thalidomide. So, dear doctor letters, these are all short communications. Plays a major role the communication between the doctors, which concern the journals, where they can interpret where exactly whether they are experiencing the same when they are treating with the same drug with the same patients. So this is one of the things. And next one is risk management plan. Risk management plan, RMS. So RMS is risk evaluation and mitigation strategy program, focuses preventing and monitoring and managing specific risk associated with certain drugs. So what I mean to say, pharmacovigilance has a major role, both in pre-market as well as post-marketed. Are you guys okay? Hello, sir. Fine. Check करो.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Right. Now, there is a shift in focus. Actually, as we know, talking about drug safety, now our focus has been shifted from drug safety to patient safety. Earlier we used to check whether the drug is safer or not by the preclinical studies or clinical studies. Now our focus is, because of this extended scope of pharmacovigilance, the focus has been shifted from drug safety to patient safety. Now the patient safety is most important. I would like to take some time on this, discussing the rule of three, which plays a major role in pharmacovigilance. Rule of three, as you aware, how statistics works. The statement goes like this: the rule of three, there is 95% chance of observing an occurrence of an event in a population 3 times to the size of an event frequency. I'm repeating once again. There is 95% of chance of observing one occurrence of an event in a population 3 times to the size of an event frequency. See, a lot of times we go through a lot of epidemiological studies. If you take incidence, it will say 1 in 10,000. One in 10,000 of the patients will be affected with these, so and so, all those things. But what rule of three says is, if you say 1 in 10,000, if you take first 10,000, we cannot find. That's what the rule of three. What we believe is, in 10,000 people, one will be affected. But actually, as per the statistics, that is not corrected. If you take first, we may not find that event in first 10,000. We may find in next 10,000 also. The rule of three goes, that should be 3 times to the n. If I say 1 in 10,000, I need to observe 30,000 patients. Then only there is 95% chance, even if I observe 30,000 patients also, first 30,000 patients, there is 95% chance of observing one occurrence of an event. That's what is rule of three. Right? It goes in another way also. It goes in another way is, or if no event is observed in population n, that is n, there is 95% of chance of event rate is less than 1 in n by 3. Suppose if I say, if my clinical studies, as we know, clinical stages, phase 1, phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 3. So if you come to phase 3, phase 3, the what? Multi-center trials, double-blind randomized studies, and the number of volunteers will be increased to what? 3,000, 1,000 to 3,000. As you know, clinical studies, the clinical trials are most expensive. If you go with the clinical trial with the 3,000 patients also, it's high. Suppose if you done studies in 3,000, if you if you don't find one event in that 3,000, then that should be what? In another way I said, what is another way is, if there is no event 3,000, that is means less than 1 in 1,000. Here I didn't put in a slide. I would like to throw a light regarding the Pamdenrix, which is an influenza vaccine which was given as a mass vaccination in European countries. So this vaccination has developed a narcolepsy. The trial was done in 10,000 patients. But later on, when they came to know that 1 in 12,000 patients were affected with this narcolepsy, who was given with this Pamdenrix was affected with narcolepsy. As you know, narcolepsy. What is narcolepsy? The patient may get into sleep at sudden. Suppose just imagine suddenly the person may get into sleep while driving. That may lead to an accident and loss of life. So what I need to say, so if I say 1 in 12,000, what should be the number of clinical trial participants? As per the rule of 3, if one patient in 12,000 is affected, 1,000 in 12,000 is affected with narcolepsy. That was observation later on, the statistically when they seen. But the study was done but during clinical trials, this particular vaccine doesn't show narcolepsy because the study was done in 10,000 volunteers. Now my question is, if they need to observe this narcolepsy in clinical trials, what should be the number of trial participants? If it is one, as I said, example, it is displayed on the board. If it is 1 by 10,000, 1 in 10,000, if you want to see, if you see an event in a population, that should be what? 3 times to the, and that is 30,000. Here it is 1 in 12,000. So how many patients need to be enrolled? 36,000. Will it be possible to have 36,000 trial participants for a clinical trial? And most even, another observation they came to know is regarding this pandemics. All those people who are affected with narcolepsy were below age of 19 years. Now the question comes, as all you know, the trial participants, there will be what? They will be divided into 4 categories. 25% of the people will be 25% of the people will be less than 25. 25 will be, so that division. So now 36,000 in the 30. If you go for the trial also, 36,000. If you go for the 36,000, the 25% of the 36,000 is how much? Say example 12. Again you need to do 3 times. 36 into 3. 36 into 3. It is 1 lakh. It is 1 lakh 800. Is it possible to done a trial with 1 lakh 8,000 trial participants? So this is what, that's what I said very thing. We all believe that medicine should be very safe because they are tested, right? They are tested and regulated by authorities. It has been undergoing before the drug is marketed. It undergoes preclinical stages, clinical stages. A lot of rigorous things will be done, and we expect that medicine to be safe. But in the beginning of my presentation itself, I said we need to use this particular term medicine, that we all expect that they should be safe. But they are contracts actually. That's what we need to use medicine with utmost respect. If not, they will cause terrible effects. That is what regarding the need of pharmacovigilance. Right. Let me let me take you through some terminology of pharmacovigilance. As you know, AE, adverse event. Adverse event. I want you all to differentiate adverse event and adverse drug reaction. Is there different or same? If so, in what way they are different? Right. As we know, adverse event. If you see the slide displays, any untoward medical occurrence in a patient or subject is an adverse event. But what is adverse drug reaction? A response or product which is noxious, which is unintended. Actually, when it comes to ADR, there exists a causal relationship with the drug. The effect what is produced will have a causal relationship with the drug. For example, if you take insulin, what is insulin? Insulin is a hormone which controls what? Blood sugar levels. Generally, which will be used during diabetes. In diabetes, what happens as insulin levels are decreased because of insulin sensitivity or whatever the reason, the blood sugar levels will go high because as insulin is decreased. As you know, insulin acts like a key for the entry of glucose into the cell. If there is no insulin, the glucose will not enter into the cells. It remains in the plasma. That leads to the elevation of plasma blood sugar levels. Now, what is an adverse effect of insulin is that is hypoglycemia. That is hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is what? Decreased blood sugar levels. So here there exists a causal relationship. So the hypoglycemic effects of insulin is adverse effect. It's not. Now adverse event, any untoward occurrence, whatever it happens, where you could not able to explain the mechanism, there doesn't exist causal relation with the drug, may or may not exist, is an adverse events. And if you take the second term, that is serious adverse events, just if you go further, you will understand what is serious. Next is SAR or SADR, that is serious adverse drug reaction. SUSAR. What is SUSAR? SUSAR. Suspected unexpected serious adverse drug reaction. The abbreviation of suspected unexpected serious adverse drug reaction. An unexpected reaction or event is where the nature of severity of is not consistent with applicable with the product information. Which is not unexpected. Expected is which is because of drug. Unexpected is which is not by the drug. And where we cannot explain exactly, right? That's what is SUSAR. That's what is unexpected and expected exactly. Now, next will be the assessing adverse events and ADRs. Assessing adverse event and ADRs. Now, there is a small story goes right. Can you rate the following statement in terms of severity and seriousness? Before this, I want to move. Let me go with this. What exactly the serious, when you call serious adverse effect? Serious adverse effects are serious adverse events. What are those means? What? Which results in death is obviously serious. Life-threatening, any disability, whatever it may be. And next is which requires hospitalization is also serious thing. Results in persistent or significant incapacity. And which is anything which is medically significant. All those are serious. Don't expect only serious means what only which results to death and disability. If you prolong hospitalization stay is also a serious adverse reaction, adverse event. If requires hospitalization is also any medically significant. And intensity, severity can be rated from mild to severe. So now with this background, I want you to go through this statement. Assessing AE, assessing the seriousness and severity. The statement goes as this. The patient falls unconscious, they have very low pulse and blood pressure, needed emergency medical care. So let me, I got I skipped. Sorry, I want to go with this. There was a law, the slides numbering has been changed. Yeah. I want you to rate this medical condition. I want to please kindly follow this statement. The statement goes like this: patient feels nauseous but can go on with normal activities. How you will rate this medical condition? Will make it seriousness? No, it's not non-serious. Just you feel nauseous, but you can go through with normal activities, which does not require hospitalization, whatever it may be. So it's non-serious. When come to severity, the intensity is what? Mild intensity. And the second one, when this patient feels nauseous, needs to lie down, they cannot get up without experiencing the symptom and needing assistance. Means as long as they lie down, patient lie down, he feels better. If he get up, if he changes posture, then he might experience nausea again. Again, if you come to serious, it's non-serious. Then when come to intensity, yes, severe intensity. That's what severity is mild to severe. And last statement: the patient falls unconscious. They have very low pulse and blood pressure, needing emergency medical care. Obviously, it's serious and with severe intensity. So these are few examples I would like to throw a light to how to assess whether the adverse event is or adverse drug reaction is serious or not. The same definition, adverse drug reaction and adverse event, as you know, the same thing which we discussed. These are different kinds of adverse drug reactions. If you take the left hand side of mine, will have augmented, desired, chronic, delayed, and end of use and failure of therapy. And the other way also, all these are adverse drug reactions: hypersensitive, allergic, mutagenicity, carcinogenicity, teratogenicity, idiosyncrasy, cytotoxicity, and all those things. Again, the same thing, the different classifications of ADRs. Just we'll have type A, as you know. Actually, previously these two are old, type A and type B. They are very much old. Now the different types of adverse drug reactions, they came into different categories of they came into light. Earlier in 1960s, only type A and type B used to be there. What is type A is what? The reactions which can be predicted. That's what is, if you take examples, anticoagulant bleeding. Yes, anticoagulants will inhibit coagulation, that may lead to what? Bleeding. As we know, beta blockers. Beta blockers will decrease what? Heart rate. They block beta adrenergic receptors of heart, and which leads to bradycardia. If you take nitrates, as you know, they cause vasodilation, that leads to what? Headache. So all these, if you take three, if you observe these three adverse effects, all these are what? Predictable. We can explain the mechanism. There exists a causal relation why these things are happening. But type B, which cannot be predicted, unless until we have a genetic data, we cannot predict him, because we don't know, by seeing, we cannot say the patient is deficient of which enzyme or what. So all those things. Type C, as you know, the chemical reactions, as you know, because of the chemical structure of a molecule, that as you know, paracetamol best example, which occurs many years of the treatments, especially like chemotherapy, secondary tumors, phenatoin, the teratogenic effects of antiepileptic phenatoin, antipsychotics, definitely after 2-3 years of therapy, the patient may land into Parkinson's. It can be iatrogenic also. Type E, end of treatment reactions, same as you know, mostly the withdrawal syndromes will come into the picture. And steroid withdrawal may lead to adrenocortical insufficiency, and fentanyl withdrawal may cause seizures. And failure of therapy reactions, when drug failure of therapy absent, there is a decrease of efficacy. The best example is antibiotic resistance. So these we discussed already. Now comes with the management of adverse drug reactions. Right. The first thing is so monitoring patient who are with greater risk of developing ADRs, and second one is monitoring patients who are prescribed with drugs with highly likely cause to ADRs, and third one is accessing and documenting the patient previous allergic status. Next, assessing patient drug therapy for its appropriate needs. The first thing goes where the pharmacist plays a critical role. So as pharmacists, we need to aware of the patient previous data, allergic states, and we need to the patient cost can be done in a better way, such that when the drugs are prescribed. Say for example, just now we discussed when you prescribe with antibiotic, we can caution them not to be cautious, not to get injuries. There might be a lot of bleedings. Don't worry, so something. So we need to educate patients in such a way. If you take insulin, there might be hypoglycemic shock, all those things. So we need to educate the patient in better way why the particular drug has been prescribed and what dose has to be given, which route they need to take, and what time they need to take. What benefit the patient is going to get by taking that medication. What is an advantage of complete being complete the therapy, staying with the therapy, and we should able to counsel them that please revert to us if this particular adverse. For example, if you say antipsychotics, if there is dyskinesis, kindly let us know so that at the end there is a and last 3 points will lead to an alternate medication has to be replaced to prevent that. So all these things we can manage areas if you have strong data of the patient previous history, medical history, and most importantly the concurrent medical and drug administrations. So then if you have this, then we can manage ADS and we can prevent the occurrence of ADS as pharmacists. Now, who can report? Any all the professionals, medical care professional can report these events. The most importantly, we need to counsel our patients. We need to counsel them in such a way that why the drugs. That's what I said. What is the benefit that a patient is going to take by taking that medication? We need to ask him to that if you don't feel how he is feeling. If you don't feel that effect, if you need to report that is also a lack of expected efficacy that need to be reported, right? And if it doesn't work, so, we need to take bad data that if you feel any bad anything bad about this medication after drug administration, kindly let us know. So that all those things. Yeah, these slides, as you are aware, this is suspected adverse drug reaction reported form. If you enlarge it, if you enlarge it, it has got a lot of components. With the interest of time, I don't want to go in each and everything. Actually, it would be much better. Fine, can we able to enlarge this? Actually, as we all faculty, and it's a self-explanatory. If you go through it, it's actually self-explanatory. Yeah, okay, done. Oh, got it. Yes. So it has got A, B, C, D. A is patient information. Have you seen? Have you seen over here? It's patient information. Patient information and suspected adverse drug reaction, the date of event, reaction, who is reporting, all those things. What is happened? You can explain here. Then you can explain what is the suspected medication which has been causes for this, who is manufacturer, batch number, entry date, doses, route by which it is placed, the frequency, all those things. Frequency, therapy date, when the therapy has been started, what was an indication it has been prescribed. So all those things, causality assessment. So all these things. So it's self-explanatory. So this is area. And there is another form which is medicine side effects reporting form for consumers. So where non-professionals can also report through this form. These forms are available on website, so you can get it. So our main job is to counsel them. If that doesn't works for them, you need to let them know. Because as I said earlier, there is no proper channel for this. As I said, there is a lot of mechanism. If goods are not working, we'll keep return and we'll ask their refund and all those things. But there is, if you think properly, we'll be surprised ourselves. Yes, there is no exact mechanism where we as a pharmacist also we didn't we if you take mine also previously, even I've never complained about I'm feeling bad regarding the medication. So this is a most important point I want to communicate and share with you all is so we as a pharmacist we need to produce a lot of awareness for the patients to report something what they're feeling bad about drug administration, right? So now the question is analysis and evaluation of areas. When it comes healthcare professionals will analyze it. Next they will the suspected ADR form. As you know, the ADR form AMCs will be there. The ADR is NIMS, Nizam Institute of Medical Sciences, Panjagutta. And next, they will assess, there is casualty assessment will be done. Data will be entered into Vigiflow, then forwarded to NCC. NCC is National Coordination Center, which is Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, which is located in Ghaziabad, India. So NCC for India is IPC, Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission holds this NCC, and they will analyze with CDSCO intervention, and finally the same will be reported to UMC, that is Uppsala Monitoring Center, which is in Sweden. It's a schematic diagram which flow chart which flows how the things happening. As we know, ICSR is individual case safety reports will be entered into the database and they will be processed by AMC, which will be reviewed by at NCC, and then if the signal detection, then aggregate reporting will be done to the regulator authorities. If multiple same type will come, there's the regulator authority will come into the picture, and finally they'll with Sweden, and finally comes with the action. As we know, there are a lot of platforms and channels through which we can report. Vigiflow is a web-based individual case safety report, which is available online. Vigiflow 5 is released, and we have subscription for India also. As you know, Argus, and these are all databases which are used in USA and Europe. So that's what how to prevent is the careful medical history. That's what we need to have a complete idea of allergics, and we need to have concomitant administration. Sometimes the patient may be taking some herbal medications. So we need to have an idea of those things and genetic matters, genetic factors also. That's what familial history, family history. A rich knowledge about the drug actions. That's what we need to be an expertise to analyze why exactly it is leading. We could not able to correlate and interpret why it is happening. Where further we need to be highly knowledgeable, identify high risk cases. That's what, as we know, a lot of drugs will be encountered at a time. So that leads to polypharmacy. Obviously, polypharmacy leads to drug interaction that lead to that may lead to lack of expected efficacy. Prevent irrational prescriptions. We need to avoid these. Oh, right, all these things. Using databases to update periodically, which will definitely prevent ADRs. Again, the same picture, an adverse drug reaction from the patient or whomsoever, we need to convey it to a nearest ADR monitoring centers through mobile application or whatever, toll free or whatever. ADR reporting form need to be emailed or submitted to this. Lastly, I want to stress on this Pharmacovigilance program of India, as you know, which is called as PVPI, which has been started in 2011, aims New Delhi first. Later on, it has been shifted to Indian Pharmacopoeia, Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh. So now this is NCC. The NCC for India will be the IPC, that is Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, Ghaziabad. So these are the vision and mission statements of PVPA of India to improve the patient safety, which adhere to the WHO regulations, welfare of Indian population, to monitor safety of medication, thereby reducing the risk associated with their use. And mission is to safeguard the health of Indian population by ensuring that the benefits of use of medicine outweigh the risk. That's what we said. Anyway, this risk and benefit balance analysis has to be properly done. And objectives to improve patient care and safety in relation to the use of drugs, to improve public health and safety in relation to the use of drugs, to contribute to an assessment of benefit, harm, and effectiveness and risk, rational and effective, including cost-effective usage. Last one is to promote understanding, education, and clinical training in PV. That IPC will done. The main role of IPC is they organize periodically a lot of training, skill development programs for pharmacovigilance for 5 days. And I would suggest you all to enroll. And now they are doing online because of pandemic. Earlier they used to do offline. It's a 5-day program. The renowned pharmacovigilance officers throughout the India will be taking lectures with pharmacovigilance. So I would urge you all to register for those programs. If you go through the website of Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission, you under skill development you can find a lot of periodic advertisements which will be done by IPC. Now they are doing with the registration fee of 1,000 only, as it is online. So I would urge you to register for it and have a benefit.
So any error, sir? Sir, your screen is not casting.
Immediately.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Sir, wait for a while, sir. 1 minute, sir.
Yeah, please. Sorry, ma'am, for inconvenience. I don't know where I left you. Wait on that. Presentation.
So, Dr. Rajshekar, sir.
Sir.
Hi, sir.
Hello, sir.
It's a wonderful lecture I listened just now. Thank you very much.
That's
Yeah, I
Thank you, sir.
enlightened
Thank
about pharmacovigilance. So, the
Yes, sir.
speech has gone out globally to all the
Yes.
people. It is very much useful. So, many cases you have discussed about thalidomide and all,
Yes.
about the safety, clinical safety, all those things. It's excellent. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. Look forward.
Thanks.
Can I sign off, sir?
Thank you all for your session. Thank you all for the session. And tomorrow we have we'll have a dive into the regulatory affairs in drug development and biological method development and recent developments in pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic aspects of the plant-derived natural products. With these sessions will led by Dr. N. Kannappan and Dr. Tulubili Shyam Garu. Please log in by 10 a.m. to ensure we begin shortly and promptly. And thank you all and have a great evening ahead. A feedback will be shared at 4 o'clock in the group. Thank you all. Now the session ends.